Have you ever wondered where to find the best, most natural-sounding English? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's probably not in a textbook. Today, we're going to dive into the world of a beloved blue heeler puppy to pick up some fantastic real-life phrases that you can actually use. So yeah, let's get into it.
We're kicking things off with this absolute classic line from Bluey's dad, Bandit. He says it when his other daughter, Bingo, gets a little too excited. It's so casual, so friendly, and just perfectly natural, which is exactly the kind of everyday English we're here to check out.
Have you ever heard a phrase like this and thought, okay, I get the words, but what's the vibe? What's the feeling behind it? That's what we're digging into today. We're not just going to define these phrases, we're going to get the context, so you can see how to use them to make your own English sound way more authentic.
All right, first up, let's look at how the characters in Bluey talk about those big feelings and how they comfort each other. Honestly, this is some of the most important and useful stuff for building real, actual connections with people. Okay, so here's the scene. The whole family's at the movies, but Bluey is getting pretty nervous that the film is going to be scary. Her dad totally picks up on her anxiety, and instead of just telling her, "Don't be scared," he offers her this simple, really powerful reassurance. What's so amazing about this little phrase is how much kindness is packed into it. Just say the word. It's all about handing over the power. Dad is basically telling Bluey, hey, you are in charge of the situation. There is zero pressure here. I'm ready to go the second you are. It's such a fantastic way to support someone. And you can use this everywhere. Seriously, if a friend is feeling kind of overwhelmed at a party, you can just lean over and say, we can head home anytime, just say the word. Or maybe you're helping someone with a huge project. I can take over for a bit. Just say the word. It just shows you're there for them, ready and waiting. And you know what? He really means it. The second the thunderstorm scene gets too much and Bluey says, I want to go now, Dad's response is instant. There are no questions, no sighs of disappointment, just, okay, no worries. And this moment right here shows off the power of no worries. It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of casual English. In this scene, it means, it's okay, I get it. But you can also use it to say, you're welcome, if someone thanks you, or don't worry about it, if someone apologizes. It is an absolute must-have for your vocabulary. Okay, next, let's look at a feeling that I think we've all had. That fear of being different, or that little nagging worry that we're just not good enough. So here we're seeing two different characters who are feeling the exact same thing. In the movie they're watching, a character named Chunky the Chimp is sad because he's different, and in another story, a girl named Indy is upset because her little beeswax horse doesn't look perfect. It's that classic feeling of self-doubt. So let's focus on Indy's moment here. Her art isn't perfect in her eyes, so she immediately decides the problem is her. I'm not very good. I mean, how many of us have felt that exact same way when we're learning something new, especially something like a language? This phrase is just such a common way to express that feeling, right? But the best part of this whole story is the response she gets. Her friend Winton doesn't just ignore her, or worse, agree with her. He straight up challenges that idea by saying, you are good at things, which is just such a simple, powerful way to encourage someone.
And notice the pattern here. First, Winton really listens to her feelings, then he reassures her with confidence, and then he offers practical help. He doesn't just say, oh, don't feel bad. He says, let's work at it. That's just a beautiful model for how to turn self-doubt into something positive.
All right, let's switch gears a little and look at some lighter, everyday phrases. This is the stuff of daily life. You know, the little comments and requests that make our conversations feel real and relaxed. And hey, we are back to where we started. Now we can see the phrase in its full context. Bingo is just bouncing all over her seat in the cinema, and Dad needs her to settle down without making a big scene.
So let's break this one down. Calm it down a bit is so much softer and kinder than a command like, stop it! And that word at the end, mate, is really key. It's this warm, friendly term, kind of like buddy or pal, and it instantly turns a command into a really gentle request.
And here's another piece of just brilliant, simple advice from Dad. Bingo is trying to find some deep philosophical meaning in this kid's movie, and he gently brings her back down to earth with this line. This is such a useful phrase for when you see someone getting stressed out or confused just by overthinking things. You're basically giving them permission to just relax and accept something for what it is. It's a great reminder that not everything needs some super complex explanation. Okay, for our final section, we're going to bring all these ideas together with maybe the most important and powerful message from all of these stories. So in the movie, Chunky the chimp becomes a hero only when he finally decides to just be himself. Indy finally makes a great horse when she trusts her own creative process. And right here, Dad passes that same wisdom on to Bingo. It's the ultimate lesson, really.
And this really is the biggest takeaway of all. Be yourself isn't just a nice thing to say. It's actually powerful advice that we can apply directly to our own lives, and especially to our language learning journey.
And here's the secret. Speaking any new language is not about being perfect. It's not about having a flawless accent or gigantic vocabulary. It's about expressing your personality, your ideas, and your sense of humor with the tools you've got right now.
Because really, at the end of the day, that's the whole point. All these phrases, reassuring a friend, making a gentle request, expressing a little self-doubt, they're all tools for connection. And that's the real goal of learning a language.
So, I'll just leave you with this question. We found all this amazing, authentic English in a cartoon about Australian dogs. Now just think about the shows, the movies, or the books that you love. What real, useful language is hiding in there just waiting for you to find it?